Uh,
I'm going to stay until tomorrow.
okay. But remember, the weather is going to change.
It's changing today.
Yes. So they may
So,
not have school tomorrow.
yeah, but they don't have school tomorrow, but they school on Wednesday.
That's true. That's
So I still
true.
have,
Yeah. All right.
so Michelle has to work Wednesday morning, right? So I have to be back
Okay.
for the kids.
Okay. Mm. Oh, somebody's calling. Good morning. Good morning. So good morning, Jam FM. Good morning, Genesis Radio. We are on the 27th day of February and the last day of Black History Month, you know. Um, we
Hi.
have we're talking about our history
Hi.
and who we are, and we're going to be in our history 24/7, 365 days per year, and therefore we need to, you know, reflect upon it, keep it at the forefront of who we are as a people, and not look at the negatives, but look at the positives. We were enslaved, we were all of those good things. And
Huh?
basically, we need to understand why we're here, what
Huh?
is the purpose for us being on this side of the world, so that we can get to the next level. So today our program is talking about creating global change through knowledge. And because we are not just in the West, but our nation came from the East, the Far East, the very Far East, Africa, the continent, we are looking at the vastness of our continent. So, to all our GEM FM and Genesis magazine followers, viewers, etc., think about yourself and pass the messages on to your children, because a lot of us look at things but we don't share it, you know, and we don't give our children the opportunity to realize that they do have a history and they need to keep their history going. You know what we do? We look at them when there's trouble taking places. We talk about the troubles of the world, the troubles of our peoples, the troubles of our children's children and their friends, but we don't talk about what is most positive to us, that we are a people that started civilization. We are people of innovations. Most of the innovations in the world are from us. When the British, the French, the Spanish, and the Portuguese were bringing us from Africa after trading nicely with us, you know, they come in very nice. They come in smiling and laughing with us. But at the end of the day, what they do with us, they take us as slaves and they play one against the other. And we sell our brothers and sisters into slavery. Okay. So think about it. Think about your friendships and your relationships, how you live with one another, how you live with people around you. Isn't it pretty much the same? It's been handed down. So we need to stop, take a good look in the mirror of life, and start making changes that would bring us together rather than separate us. It's don't be separated by what you accumulated in your educational pursuits. Don't be separated by the fact that you don't have enough, but be united in the fact that you and I, my grandchildren, my children, and my grandchildren, and their generations to come, you know, the Bible talk with 4 generations to come, Minister Merle's generations, and those to come, and all the people that we meet that are of African descent must start looking up. Stop looking at the ground, because if you look at the ground, you'll stumble. But if you look ahead of you, you will go forward. God didn't give us feet that goes backward. He gave us feet going this way. So keep moving forward. Upward, forward, outward. Expand yourself because you have the ability. Just because your son went to prison or your daughter went to prison or they had a problem or they have an issue doesn't mean to say that this brain that God gave us doesn't function. It's functioning. So open the cabeza, like the Spanish would say, and move on to the next level. We are never too old to learn. And Minister Merle and I were talking about that. She said, I'm going back to school. Yes, because wisdom, knowledge came from God, and He never stopped giving us. He kept giving us, and He's still giving us. He's reminding us in our early 60s, late 60s, early 70s, you know, keep it up. Stop reverting and don't look at anybody else. Look at yourself, because guess what? People look at you to get to move to the next level, because we are the beginning. We are the leaders. Lead, lead, lead. Not with a big mouth, but the actions that you take. And stop saying you don't have the time to go to school. Stop being lazy. That's where they're putting us, laziness. Wake up, arise. I say, as they say in Nigeria. And, you know, yes, that's who you are. So today we're talking about our global change through knowledge. Pick up a book, pick up a dictionary. If you don't know how to read, take up an ABC, find it. It's on the online. You have your phones, and a lot of you don't even read, but once a friend sends something to you, nobody have to read for you. Learn. You'll be thankful not to me, to God, because he's the one that brought each and every one of us on this earth. I'm very serious about this. I want to hear and read in the news on CBC, CNN, NBC, and everything else, and GEM FM as well, that the illiteracy rate among Black people has risen. It has moved from illiteracy to almost 99%. You have 1 year. I'm giving you 1 year from February 27, 2023 to February 27, 2024. I want to see results as time goes, and I'm going to look for it on the newspapers, on the news, from different people. I want to hear. People are coming with languages that don't even speak English and getting degrees, coming from places like China and India and all these. Come on, people. You've been over here 400 years. Your ancestors have been over here 400 years. Account for it. Today, I'm calling for accountability while we get that global change through knowledge. We created telephone. Think about it. We've created motor cars. So many things we have created, even though the patents were taken away and given to somebody else's by name. You know, the White House was built by a Black man when the original white man who was supposed to build, he was so mad about whatever his problem was. I don't know, and I don't care. But the Black man took it over and rebuilt it without seeing any architectural structure plan. So who are you out there? Come on, John, Mary, Jane, Ahmad, Hussein, whatever you call your name. Get with the program. Whether they put you in Muslim, whether they put you in whatever language, whatever situation, you're Black. You're from Africa, the continent. Al-Kebulan, that's the original name. Africanus was the man who discovered that there's such a place as Africa, and he put his name to it. So let Al-Kebulan come out in you, or however, whatever that means. It sounds very, sophisticated to me. I am from Al-Kebulan, and I'm proud to be a child of the Most High who came from the same land. So think about it. So I don't want to hear, yeah, okay. I just want to hear the news saying the rise in civilizations first is moving by leaps and bounds. Teach your children. It's not about guns and nonsense. It's about education yourself to do greater and better, which you can do, and you can lead. And if we get together and lead again, this new world will be something amazing to be part of, okay? And when Christ comes, he'll be proud, because your judgment will be saying, yes, they've been whipped, sent by ships according to the word, but they learned their lesson well, all right? So Minister Mo, what do you think about that? And good morning to everyone, worldwide, globally, locally, and otherwise. Or you're not muted. You're on, you need to be, sorry. You have to unmute. Okay? Are you hearing me? Okay.
Yes, I'm hearing you. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I was muted all that time. Good morning, everybody.
So you got to start all over. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. God's blessing on each and every one of us today.
Amen.
Yes, Pastor Daphne, I'm in agreement. You know, when we think of education, that education is in every aspect,
That's right.
and in every aspect of our lives, we have to educate ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I grew up, it was limited.
Yes.
But now, as I, in this age that we're in this living in the 21st century, and everything moves so fast, every
Mm.
day you have to re-educate yourself. And, everything is like as a touch of a button.
Mm-hmm. You got to keep
You know,
up.
anybody ever, we take our hands for granted, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we ever give God such thanks that our hands are still able to move.
Yes.
You know, some of us in our 70s, we say, oh, I don't want to learn that. But just with a touch of a button, if we didn't realize that some of us that have iPhones and all of that, right? When
Mm-hmm.
we have to send, if we don't learn things, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I could just go to iDrop and send a whole whack of pictures to somebody else's iPhone.
Yes.
Like just with the touch of a finger. Like
Exactly.
if we don't have the knowledge to do it, what are we going to do?
Exactly.
So in this day and age, we are learning constantly, like constantly, Pastor Daphne.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. Every minute of the day, something new.
and we, as I have said before, I used to trot, like
Mm.
run for a good hour to get to the library.
Now you have the library in your own hands.
And when I had my kids, I paid so much to get Britannia,
Yes. Yeah. We
encyclopedia,
all have a set of those books. So.
right? We paid countless to get all those things. And
Thousands.
now it's nothing. It's all
Mm-hmm.
there. It's free.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we check our parents' age,
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of us that's over there in our 70s, if we
Mm-hmm.
check our parents' age, and I being my mother's 12th child,
Mm-hmm.
which means that my mother was a good 40 years over me.
Yes.
Like it or not, because we were not the first set. There
No.
was a break and then she made another set. But one
Mm.
father though,
Yes.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
some of us are way younger than the others, although we are 70, we're younger than my sisters that's up there close to their 90s now, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
our parents would be over 100.
Yep. Way
And
over.
my children were talking the other day when my son asked me a question, which was, I think, last week, because, it's Black History. So he's sharing with his children.
Yes.
And he asked me a question, and his kids were there, and my daughter was over there too. And she said that mommy said this, and he had to confirm. What he had to confirm was that grandma did not go to school.
Mm-hmm.
But my son was in such disbelief that his
But
grandmother that taught him everything.
did not go to
Did not,
school.
yeah, because
Wisdom from God. It's right inside of us.
she self-taught.
Yes, of
She
course. You read
learned
a
to
book.
read the Bible. She did everything to teach
Yes,
herself.
that's
And to
right.
many people today, like it's not just educate yourself in every way. Like if I'm a cleaner,
Mm-hmm.
right? I would know every cleaning solution. I would go and learn all the different cleaning solutions that's out there. What is best? What's harmful? If
Mm-hmm.
the person house I'm cleaning have allergies, I gonna have natural stuff. I would learn because
Yes.
the knowledge is right at the drop of your hands. You don't have to run to a school anymore. I'm
No.
not saying you could sit right at home and get
And
all
begin.
this knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And it is free in this country. It's free.
Yes.
Everything is
Amen.
free.
Amen.
Some things
Amen.
you're paying for, though.
That's true. That's true. So these are the things, people don't realize, um, how important it is to have a little wisdom, And like you said, with your grandmother not going to school,
My mother, not my
and
grandmother.
your
Are you
mom,
sure my grandmother didn't go with
with
my mom?
your mom
Yeah.
not going to school, but yet still, they give you the wisdom of the age to say, there is school now, there's this now, take advantage of it. So why it is in the 20th and 21st century that's now in that we're not educated? There's no reason for one of our children out there to say that they can't read, they can't this, they can't. You could.
Pastor Daphne, most of the children are being IEP, that individual educational plan that they're putting out for our children, those
Yes.
children that have difficulties in reading.
Mm-hmm.
Yet still, I find a flaw in it for our children.
Yes, of course there's a flaw. They're not going to put it out complete.
No, at one point, most of the books that was available online for the children just to get access, I could have just gone on certain programs and children will just get it, right?
But it's not that way anymore.
But I don't know, I'm not in the system, but I realize that it's not there. It's not readily available. I could have just gone online on evenings if I'm doing the tutoring and have all these things accessible without using my password for the board.
Right. So tell me something. Doesn't that remind you of something that happened in the past? They weren't given knowledge to us. They wanted us to come to do and to be enslaved, or for parents to be enslaved, to work for them to get well. So we have to take the initiative and realize that we have the common sense today to say, hey, wait a minute. We are being left out and we need these things back in place for our youth. Because if you're giving it to people that come in that don't have the language and you're giving them English as a second language, well, then we need to get those who don't have it to have that, opportunity to get themselves knowledgeable, to understand what the words say.
One of the other things that I could talk freely on and always would talk freely, some of us are educated.
Yep.
I think of all the doctors and all the different nurses and everybody, all the lawyers out there that's Black. Pastor Daphne, our Black people, we are pushed aside in many ways when coming for promotion.
That's true.
They make some of the most outrageous, make it so difficult for us to succeed. Everybody take you, if you're a lawyer, the quota for every white lawyer is like 2,000. And they would take a Black lawyer and give him a quota for 4,000.
Yeah.
And they expect him to meet it just because.
That's what they call wickedness in high places.
And think about our doctors.
We have the prayer warriors to pray about these things.
We have doctors out there that have to, people, look, I remember going to a doctor here years when I had moved into Brampton. I went to a doctor and I know my body, I know what's wrong. And I tried to tell this doctor what was wrong with me, and this doctor every minute was stopping me. And finally, I had to say, okay, thank you. I became very subservient.
Yeah.
I said, no need to fight this Englishman. No. He was from England. No. I went home that day and I said,
they have an agenda.
I said, okay, Father, you know that I really need a doctor.
A good one.
I need you to find me a doctor. Right? I had to go, a doctor came in. I started using walk-in clinic. And one day a doctor came in. He was from He's Greek Orthodox.
Mhm.
So this doctor came in and he was close to my complexion and everything. And he had a smile on his face. And I said, boy, you know Christ. He said, how do you know? I
Mm.
said, could you be my doctor? He said, sure, but my office is all the way on Bloor Street. I said, it's no problem. I drive. So I would
I
always
can
go
tell you.
down to Bloor and Chain every time until
Mm.
he moved up to Brampton, right? He did come up.
Yes.
Remember? My doctor for
Mhm.
over 20
Yes.
something years.
Mm.
Yes, even that. I had to
Yes.
pray to get
Yep.
a doctor that would see me as a Black woman, respect me, and don't try to tell me what you think it's wrong when it's not your body,
That's right.
you know? So education, you know, I'm very thankful for, as we talk about it, for the young doctors nowadays,
That's
right?
right. That's
Really,
right.
really thankful. It's a whole new breed of young people out there. And I give God thanks that, you know, they are really educating themselves and they don't take us granted and think that we are older and they don't push us aside, you know. When you talk to
Yeah.
them, they take the time to listen to us, you
Because it
know.
means they realize that wisdom, it's they learn what wisdom is. And we all have to
Yeah,
learn. And you know, for those of you who are listening, pass it on to your children. Don't just watch the program and feel, well, oh yes, to pass it out, pass it away. You take wisdom and you guide people with the same wisdom. Pass it on. Because many of you are sitting, don't sit down there to criticize. You could comment, I don't care. But pass wisdom on. I'm not doing it for me. I already know what wisdom is all about because it was given to me by my grandparents and my parents. You understand? And I pass it on to my children. They know better. So they better be
but
doing better.
one of the things that I know that people get very frustrated and upset with the younger ones about is like when you speak to them, they always would say to you, I know, I'm older, you don't have to teach me. But
No,
listen,
you're old now. They don't realize wisdom hasn't changed.
but I just want to tell you something that those same mouths that say
Mm-hmm.
those kind of stuff to you, just ignore it. Keep telling
Yeah,
them. The reason that I tell them is very simple. They turn around and they use what they hear from us. They use the knowledge.
quietly.
They
They don't
do.
tell you.
They do. No, I see them. And I smile inside because they are doing it.
Mhm. Yes, because wisdom
I
is
think
important. Make
somebody is
knowing what
connected.
choices to make. Choices are
Mhm.
important. Like today, yesterday I was listening to something, you know, let's talk about another thing before, but I was reading about something that's happening in the United States and I guess many other places. A lot of people who are risking their lives to come to America, they are coming at very, very, very high cost. They're charged, people are charged, I don't know who it is. I read it it was with the FBI yesterday. $80,000 per person. And if they don't have the money, they make them border slaves wherever until they think this money is paid up. You people who
Where,
are praying, you Christians out there like myself, you all need to pray about these things. Those of you
where
who are
these
educated,
where they coming from?
they were talking about the, you know, the Haitians and the
Oh,
Mexicans, how they came in, a lot of them. And this is the new thing they discovered. There's a cartel running this thing, and these people have to put out these hundreds of thousands of dollars to get to America. And when they get to their place, if they don't have this money to hand over, they pass them over to, I don't know if it's Border Patrol, and they have another cartel inside that's sending these people out as bond servants to pay. You know, we are 1311 in the last days. Look, there's Genesis. You know, We
I
are
think it's
certain.
Brother
Brother
John is
John,
trying to.
Hey,
how are you? Good morning.
I'm okay. I'm not getting enough feedback from you, but I am okay. Yeah, listening to conversation about education and stuff like that. Um, one day we come to black people, black history, education, and where we
Yes.
come from, how we arrived where we are. Just yesterday, I was having a discussion with someone, and the question of education came up, and the black folks that came in from Africa before they arrived here, there was black folks here that was able to read and write before they came, right?
Yes, that's right.
The education system that was introduced was never to educate us to be on our own, but educate us to work for the establishment, right?
That's right.
However, as a community, we have tried several times to empower our own self. Yeah?
Yes.
There are many cities in the United States that have been buried underground, turned into lakes and ponds.
Oh, yes,
Cities,
we know that.
That's cities. So we was well educated, well versed, right? We were not hard of learning or anything. We are already educated before we came here. The most of the invention was invented by educated black people that came from Africa. That was
That's
made
right.
slaves. There was made slaves in education system that we have today. And Pastor Minister Moore was saying something like that. We was not exposed to a number of things. Yes, and our parents were denied the opportunity to self-educate was a criminal offense.
Yes, because they don't want us to learn. We already had our education, but getting into the systems that we are in is the problem. Was the issue.
So now, I think we have many of us who agree that education enhances our education because we are self-educated already. Education system just enhances us. Look, that doctor, I got an award. I can't remember his name right now. They had a movie on him recently. He got a doctor for a surgeon, and he had not been to medical school. He had even created
to do bypass surgery.
Yes, you know, and this time as a cleaner, this time they still give him a grade at level 3 when he got more than that. Right? But
not only that, remember in that very clip, he was told by the other guy, who do you think you are? I make more money than you. I said, look at the little ignorant young man. We have too much, that's our problems. This man is already doing.
We are educated beyond measure.
We came with our education. Our foreparents were very highly educated. Remember, the Greeks were doing business with the Africans. How many of them came to study there? The University of Timbuktu, the first university in the world. So it's not to say we are dumb people. We're not dumb people. We just kept back.
The people that came.
And it is the same thing when we come from the West Indies.
Yeah, they're afraid of us. They're afraid of our knowledge or wisdom.
If we didn't have our piece of paper, what they would do with children was to put them back. Like if you were grade 10, they put you back to grade 9.
Grade 9, yes.
Yeah, they still do that. Only because we don't speak like they speak.
Yeah. You need a Canadian experience, an American experience.
In class. No, this is real. The kids are at the right age for grade 10, and they send you back to grade 9.
And in the meantime, you have the British system that has you at the right level, and they want to push you back.
You actually know more than the children in your class.
That's
you just not speaking. I mean, like even when I was in college, I told you, one professor told me that she was going to fail me if I did not buck up in my English.
Well, listen, did I tell you what I told my professor for political
Well, I told
science?
her.
You can't teach me what I already know.
It's good. I tell you.
So this is the dilemma of the African, well, not the African, or the people of Al-Kabulan. The fact that they came with the wisdom of God, and it's a problem to every other society. And yet still, Minister Merle and Brother John, we are intermingled. We are the beginning of civilization. We are all colored, mix and mix and mix. We've mixed. We do it. We have what it takes for the mix.
If you talk to doctors and lawyers today, you would find out they're still trying to keep us back.
Of course they are.
They're still trying to keep us back.
The system. You know what, Minister Merle? I watched the Minister of Education in Ontario, Mr. Leckie. And I always say, you always hear me talk about him. I really want to say two words to him directly, but I can't reach him. They wouldn't allow me to. But he just got a position. They just pick him up. You know what? You go and you put your hand in your pocket, and your 5 cents come up. They take this 5 cents and they put it in a position. And he's talking big like he's the Minister of Education. He doesn't even know the word education, what it truly and really means. But he's there making decisions all over the place because he's given a portfolio to do it. But if he goes down and really delve into education, he'll understand how many things that he's missed over the years. And he hasn't even elevated himself educational-wise. So I'm done with that one.
I know. I'm not joining you on his name.
No, I'm done with that one because it's the truth.
Yeah.
I always remember him making some decisions. I'm saying, but wait a minute, where they find this man? You know, back long ago, they used to put a dance cap on your head. Anyway, goodbye to that one. Okay, we leave that alone. So children of African descent, children of the original human descent, every single one, you white, black, Chinese, Indian, whatever you call yourself. Don't continue trying to keep us down. We didn't come here without. We came here with. So we started it. But you all fight to get it. It comes easy to us when we envelop ourselves in it, when we become involved. So let us be fair and square to each and every one out there. Because today's the last day of what we quote unquote and say is a holiday given by the government, which is under God's protection. The government is on his shoulders. So you give us a month. We thank you for the month. But we also want you to continue for the next 12 months, the next 11 months or the next 12 months that's coming next year, to understand that you should not be keeping those that God has put on this planet to start civilization.
I think it's
and
not
I
just
end that one.
I think, Pastor Daphne, they're more threatened by us.
Of course they are.
Threatened.
So the first thing they say to you is a negative.
Threatened. Yeah. So they're trying to keep us back because they don't ever want us to rise.
No, but you know what they look at? They look at your physical features to make their distinctions. I said, do you realize that the mole has created so many things? I am grateful to be part of the mold.
Yeah, me
all the
too.
different flavors and colors, you know, the different levels of vanilla, you know,
the different blends,
all the cocoa blends and the cocoa, you know. So don't think that we don't know. We are quite aware, but you know what? We're peaceful people.
Yeah.
You all have triggered us to fight among ourselves, creating all kinds of isms and schisms. So at least the land is still ours. The land is still ours. It was given to us. Yes, it was his gift. He served a large chunk to his children with everything. And you know what? Let me tell you guys before this segment finishes. Africa, like I said, in 2002, to someone on Facebook when Facebook just started, I said, guess what? Africa can feed the world. We have every single thing that is found all around this world on every island or, you know, every piece of land there. when my ancestors came here to the Americas, they came with the food. As a matter of fact, the enslavers, because we were never slaves and we never will be slaves. It's, you guys use the word quote unquote, but keep it, you can keep it, you know, because being enslavers, you have created a lot of atrocities towards our people and our descendants, which I'm a descendant. And therefore I know my history, and that's something you can't take from me or any one of us. You can dumb us down with nonsense. You can say whatever you want. Make the ones who don't want to learn to read feel that this is how it is. No, it's not so. We came from kings, nobles, queens, the beginning of civilization, the Queen of Sheba. Think about it. So when Christ returns, she will be coming back to ask the Israelites, why didn't you listen? Because we are who we are. And nothing changes that. Nothing.
And the thing is, Pastor Daphne, one of the things that I say, like, you know, God has given us so much creativity within ourselves as, you know, as Black people. For instance, many things were taken from us. We were not allowed to keep things like any part of our culture and bring it over here with us.
To be in charge.
But you know, I think when something people don't understand, when something is within you, at one point it comes out
anyway.
So that's why they still got such beautiful Creole music. And when they begin to dance, I mean, like, who on earth need music when you know that within music is within? So I mean, like, when they try to take all of that, you know, even some of them people, some of the white people inherited our music and turned it into them.
And they blended us. We were blended so that they could have part of us. They're part of us. You understand?
Sometimes when Jimmy Swaggart plays his piano,
oh yes,
he would let everybody know it's because he used to skip through the window at his mother's house and run down to the bayou.
Oh yes. He's in the South. Yes.
I always hear them play those pianos. So when he start playing his piano, he don't play it like a white man.
No, he played like the civilization's beginnings. You know, he's got it in him.
When all of these things were taken out of us, they think it was. When they tried to express us, it wasn't, because it's within your DNA.
But you have to realize also, people out there, we have 9 chromosomes and everybody else has 6. The African has 9 chromosomes.
Yeah.
And everyone else has 6. So our creative innovations are ageless. It's time, who we are about is timeless. And most of us have been even given, you know, the ability to show our true creations. You know,
and if you do, they try to take that pattern from you.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, you quickly have to put your name to everything.
Every single thing. And
because
you know, and as I say that, as you stated, Minister Merle, there's something else I want to say to people. If you see somebody with a name or anything that you want, you think that sounds good, don't get too close to it. Be creative on your own timeline. Be creative. You don't have to copy something or take from something, because I've seen on my own Facebook pages where I have a name, I've had it for years. Someone will add another P, they will add another S, they will do all kinds of, and they'll come under it. You don't have to do that, because you have your own mind up here that you can be creative. Think about what you want to be and be that. Be it and do it accordingly. Don't follow fashion. You could follow fashion, but make sure your fashion is totally unique. Make sure what you say comes from inside of here. Even if you get the idea from me or Minister Merle or somebody out there, the president or whoever, the king of England now, Always make it unique. What about this, what you see, draws you so that you can push it and expand it and explore it? You see how creative we are? Just sitting down thinking. It's like Minister Mills talking about the music. But you know, sometimes you're humming something and the body going like this. And you're feeling it right then and there. You understand? That's how good we are. We are creators from the birth, from the navel string. So, and you have that opportunity too. Every one of you, whether you're black, white, or whatever color you are, you got it in you. Exploit it. Ask somebody to help you with it. I'm feeling so and so and so. What other feeling or thing should come with that? And you know what? We will talk from today until next Black History Month and give you ideas. That's who we are. Okay? Medicine. What about this creative ability that God has given us? Innovation. Oh, you're muted.
It's the Spirit of God that gives us all of that. It's not us. So it's all free.
That soul, the soul.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think about when you think of ethnicity, what do you think of, Minister Merle? When we think of ethnicity, we talk about how people are multi-Afro-ethnic in its entirety. But when you go back to Africa, you see children, blonde hair, blue eyes, green eyes, so many different things. It's the creativity in us, the difference in us. So why not embrace and make something even better out of it? You don't even know what my grandson or your grandson or granddaughter can do. I know your granddaughter is very creative. I know your daughter is very creative. People don't realize we learn from one another and we enhance each other. So why not live accordingly? Let us explore that. For the next year, we must create global change through knowledge and be empowered by it so that we'll follow it, we will do it. So for all those who need to learn, explore. You want to be able to be an artist. You could draw, you can this, but then you stop in the middle of the track when something that they have embedded in your mind says, oh, that will take too long for you to get to that point. No, take the time. Take the time and develop something, draw something, sew something. All the creativity that's in you, let it come out. And I'm not just talking about the African people, I'm talking about everybody. Because creation starts with us. So human beings, I need you to be creative. I need you to have that global change towards yourself and towards us with all the knowledge and wisdom that God has planted in His first, that moves down to all of us that are here on this planet today. And that is my desire and my happiness to see a world that is one and united. And there's many, many, many white people that are my brothers keep, because remember, my great grandmother, my father's mother, she was Welsh. So, and it's not to say that they don't have no white blood in me. It's always somewhere around there because I won't be this mix of things, and you could be very dark and guess what? End up with a white child and you don't understand what happened. Way back when God was creating, He gave you that one gene and maybe only one of you in the whole family will have a white child. Strange, isn't it? Unique, isn't it? But God-given, that's what it is. So let's try and be ourselves, who we are, and explore all the other entities of life that could come towards us daily. Daily. It's important. If you look at your family, everyone is different. They look like there's a slight this, or it's like you got this and I got this, and I didn't get that, and you. It is what it is. It It is a multi-dimensional blend of God's creativity. So why can't we live together? I wish governments would learn to understand what it is. It's not about division. It's not about division. It's about everyone making input and enjoying what we call life. Housing is not for some, housing is for everybody. Education is not for some, it's for everybody. Same as innovation. Right across the board, you have innovators from the beginning of time till now. If you go to Africa today and see the innovations that are passing through these young people's hands, the things that they could put together in no time, building mansions out of mud. So let us in 2021 century start moving, gravitating together as one, not looking at color, but looking at the mind, the heart. And the words that come out of our mouth should be truthful, honest, and with full of God's love, because He's our creator. Why are we so close to God? Because He's our creator. He created us. He brought us out first, and we are very close to Him. People always say, oh, the Christian. No. He's God. He created you. Who created you? I remember years ago, a man told me he was created from a fish. I said, well, that fish must have been dead way long. Because how could you be spineless and not know? And, look at another human being and say you were created from a fish. We need to get away from our foolishness and start being human beings. So I hope Black History Month has taught you something, and that you have other things in your mind that you can share with one another, friends, Romans, and countrymen around the globe, wherever you are. Don't give up. Don't give up. We have to run the race, but run the race under His grace, and you will be successful. Miss Emil.
Yes, Pastor Daphne, I unmuted.
How do you close up? Help to close up
as we wind down with Black History Month.
Yes.
I want to just encourage everybody. As a young girl, I learned a lot, in history.
Mm-hmm.
And when I learned it, it changed who I was. As in my latency age, we didn't have this kind of history. But by the time I hit my teenage life, I was learning.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't stop with just me. My children did history.
Mm-hmm.
My son actually studied Black history in school.
Good.
And, it helped him when it was time to go to law school, knowing all the different things with having to learn history. It's very important. And when we learn, we pass on. Like I always tell my mom, and I just used to say, wow, you have so much brains lying in the cemetery. Because my oldest siblings that passed on, they educated us, but not with everything that they had in them. They share so much with us, right? So I often encourage people to please sit down, and if you tell your grandchildren things, or you buy the books, sit and read the books for them.
Indeed.
Right? We do not throw away our books.
No, we keep them.
When coming to Black history, we keep them, because like my husband would buy these books for our children, and those books are passed down to my grandchildren, and whatever new books that other people write, we pick up new books and constantly keep piles of these kind of books, so that it goes between, we got 2 children, so it go between the 2 homes. Right? At some point, some of the grandkids, and they all read the book. I mean, like my 8-year-old granddaughter could tell you more about Black history than I knew. Right. And nowadays they have all the sweaters.
Yes,
and
yes,
all the
all kinds of
t-shirts.
paraphernalias. Yes,
And you know, and they wear them proudly. It's not
yes,
only in February month they wear it, they wear it throughout the year. So
yeah.
my encouragement is Black History is not just a month. It's
It's
all
it's a
around.
life. It's life. It is
It's
life.
part of our life. You know,
Yeah.
learn it.
Mm.
It's
I also.
beautiful. And
Go ahead.
there are many things we take and many things we leave in it.
That's right. You have a choice. You don't have to make good choices. You ask yourself what is and what isn't, and what could be and what couldn't. You know, our last segment we read about James 4 verses 5 and 6. It says, "Do you think that the scripture saith in vain that the spirit that dwelleth in us, human, which is humanity, lusteth to envy?" Okay, envy is such a bad thing. And verse 6 says, "But he giveth more grace. Wherefore he seeketh." So when seek grace, not envy, because our minds, our hearts could be, oh, I wish I did. And no, don't look at the person with the PhD and whatever and think that, oh, well, she's up there. And the person with the PhD, don't look down on the person that hasn't arrived as yet.
That's why God
Bless,
asks us to be humble.
be humble. Humility
Blessed
should
is
be
the
your
poor in
passport.
spirit.
Poor
The
in
poor
spirit.
in
That's right.
spirit. You
Be
know,
humble.
to know the
Walk
meaning of those
gently,
words.
gracefully.
You have to know the meaning of being poor in spirit. Anyway, bye everybody.
Yes, so have a great day and have a great
Have a
week.
blessed week.
Until we'll see you on Wednesday, God willing.
Okay,
Bye for
bye-bye.
now. Bye. Bye, Minister Merle.